My sister refused to allow my 17-year-old daughter at her wedding because she was underage. I didn't protest. I simply replied that we wouldn't be coming. My younger sister, Lauren, had always been the center of attention in our family. Growing up, that never really bothered me. She was outgoing, social, and somehow managed to get everyone excited about whatever was happening in her life. So when she got engaged, nobody was surprised that the wedding quickly became the biggest family event of the year. My daughter Ava was 17 at the time, and she was probably more excited than anyone. She spent months helping Lauren with wedding preparations, running errands, comparing decorations, and listening to endless conversations about venues, flowers, and guest lists. For a while, everything seemed perfectly normal. Then one afternoon, Lauren invited me to lunch. At first, we talked about work, family, and wedding plans. Then she suddenly put her fork down and said, "There's something I need to tell you." I looked up. "What is it?" She avoided eye contact. "We've decided the wedding will be adults only." I frowned. "Adults only?" She nodded. "No guests under 18. It took me a second to realize what she meant. Ava is 17. I know. She turns 18 in 4 months. I know. I stared at her. "She's your niece." Lauren sighed. "We just want a sophisticated atmosphere." I sat there for a moment trying to process what I was hearing. Ava wasn't a troublemaker. She was responsible, respectful, and honestly more mature than a lot of adults I knew. I asked one question. "Does Ava know?" "No." I nodded. "Good." Lauren looked relieved. "I knew you'd understand." I paid for my lunch, stood up, and left. That evening, Ava asked if I had bought my suit for the wedding yet. I sat down across from her at the kitchen table. "Sweetheart, we're not going." She looked confused. "What happened?" I told her exactly what Lauren had said. Nothing more, nothing less. Ava sat quietly for several seconds. Then she simply nodded. "Okay." That one word hit harder than any argument could have. After that, she never mentioned the wedding again. A week later, Lauren called. "Have you booked your hotel room yet?" "No." "What do you mean no? We won't need one." There was silence. Then she said, "Wait, you're serious?" "Of course. You said okay." "I said your wedding, your rules. Then why aren't you coming?" I couldn't believe she was asking. "If my daughter isn't invited, neither am I." Lauren immediately became frustrated. "So you're choosing your daughter over your sister?" "Yes." The call ended shortly afterward. Over the next few weeks, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. My mother called. My aunt called. A couple of cousins called. Every conversation sounded exactly the same. "It's only one day. Lauren is stressed. Can't Ava stay home?" Nobody seemed concerned about how Ava felt. I stopped explaining myself. I simply repeated the same sentence. "If Ava isn't welcome, neither am I." Eventually, people stopped arguing. Then family members started asking questions of their own. Many of them knew how much Ava had helped with the wedding. They knew she had spent months supporting Lauren. The more people learned, the worse Lauren looked. A few relatives quietly decided not to attend. Not because I asked them to, because they didn't agree with what she had done. The wedding day finally arrived. Instead of attending, Ava and I drove several hours to visit a university that had accepted her. We toured the campus, walked through dorm buildings, and talked about her future. It ended up being one of the best days we'd spent together in a long time. That evening, my phone filled with wedding photos and family messages. I ignored every one of them. 2 days later, Lauren showed up at my house. The moment I opened the door, she said, "You made me look terrible." Not hello, not how are you, just that. I stayed in the doorway. "You did that yourself." Her expression hardened. "I can't believe you'd skip your own sister's wedding." I looked at her calmly. "I can't believe you'd exclude your own niece." Neither of us spoke for a few seconds. Then she shook her head. "You chose a child over family." I nodded. "Exactly." She left angry. That was the last meaningful conversation we ever had. A month later, Ava turned 18. Among the birthday cards was one from Lauren. Inside was a generic message and a $50 gift card. Ava opened it, read it, and slid everything back into the envelope. Then she dropped it into a drawer and moved on with her day. She never called Lauren, never texted her, never acknowledged it, and honestly, neither did I. Lauren got the adults-only wedding she wanted. She got the beautiful venue, the perfect photos, and the sophisticated atmosphere she cared so much about. What she didn't get was the relationship she threw away to make it happen. Because the moment she decided my daughter wasn't family enough to attend her wedding, she stopped being family enough to matter.